Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar this morning. Hope you can all hear me. If there are any issues, just please let us know in the chat box. Just a very quick intro, and we'll get into our topic of training in a minute, which is how to build a HubSpot landing page. Again, thanks for joining us. This is our fourth webinar. If this is the first time you're joining one of our webinars, not to worry about having missed any of the others, as you can watch our previous ones on demand. Highly recommend watching these. So just to introduce myself, my name is Violetta. I joined the company about 9 months ago, so that'll be the beginning of this year, not too long ago. And I handle the internal marketing and sales. And here is a bit about us, the B2B Marketing Lab. So just to give you a bit of a background, we are a part of the ITPR group, which includes ITPR and BFO. ITPR is a digital PR agency, and BFO is a digital marketing agency that revolves around SEO and PPC. But anyway, this is us, the B2B Marketing Lab. We are a Diamond HubSpot partner, a certified agency partner, and we work with HubSpot customers. And as you can see, we are all about inbound and all about HubSpot. We have 32 full-time HubSpot experts, and that's across London and Singapore. Between us, we have about over 160 HubSpot accreditations. Some of you might know about these already. They're part of the HubSpot Academy. And you can also take these for free. We encourage everyone to do so, all HubSpot users. And not long ago, HubSpot introduced the HubSpot Certified Trainer one, which is a must-take for HubSpot partners like us, in order for us to provide training to other HubSpot users. And yeah, we're very happy to say that we are a HubSpot Certified Trainer. And we have run HubSpot classroom training sessions for about 5 years now. Today, I'm joined by the lovely Emma, who is my colleague and a senior HubSpot account manager. And today, she's agreed to run through how to build and use landing pages in HubSpot. Over to you, Emma.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Violetta, for the introduction. So today, guys, we're just going to go through using landing pages in HubSpot. So, sorry, my screen's taking a while to catch up. Perfect. So in terms of what the purpose of landing pages are, your landing pages will display your content offer. They hold your form, and potentially that will make the difference to kind of boosting your leads. So your mission really for your landing page is to convert that first visitor into a lead. You also really need to think about how you're kind of displaying your content offer to the visitor on your landing page. So thinking about things like what will they learn from downloading that piece of content? Is the topic really clear on that landing page? And also thinking about things like how long is the form? Does it mimic the value of that piece of content that you're offering? We'll go into all of those things in a little bit more detail today. Also, building a landing page, when you first look at it, it looks like it might seem like a quick process, but actually it involves quite a few different HubSpot elements, which we'll go into today, and also consideration of your content. So it's really important not to rush it and to review and consider everything. Don't worry though, because HubSpot lets you preview your landing page to see how it looks on different devices before you publish it. And you can also optimize your landing page as well to help it rank on the search engines too. So, looking at the structure of landing pages, what makes a great landing page? What makes a landing page stand out? So in terms of when you first see your landing page, what you really need is a clear action-oriented header for the page. So you've got a headline, it's really clear what the person needs to do. It uses an action word like download now and really displays the topic very clearly. Also, we would recommend kind of explaining the offer and its value in sort of between 1 to 5 sentences, maybe creating a sense of urgency. What's the kind of main pain point of the persona you're targeting? Always try and kind of bring it back to that. What's the problem that they are facing? And then use kind of numbers, bullet points, and bolding in the copy to make keywords and phrases stand out. we always recommend kind of using some sort of about 5 bullet points to really pinpoint what will people learn from the piece of content that you're promoting. So maybe picking out some statistics from a white paper, kind of say things like find out why X is happening, and sort of showing how your piece of content will help solve the problem that you've outlined in that opening paragraph. You can also use relevant images, so perhaps say a thumbnail of the ebook that your landing page is about, so that your visitors kind of have a more tangible idea of what they'll receive as a result of submitting that form on your landing page. It's also worth thinking about using form fields that are relevant to the offer. So making sure that your form is easy to fill out. There's not lots and lots of fields. It's sort of maybe the minimum number of fields that you need to kind of first qualify a lead. When you're setting up your forms, it's also worth just double checking the settings to make sure that everything's set up to populate fields with known values. And that means when a visitor maybe comes back to your landing page or fills out a different landing page, it means that if they filled out their first name, last name, email address before, the form will already be populated with those values, and it just means that they will have less to fill out, and it just makes it that little bit easier to for them to submit the form. And in terms of the structure of the landing page as well, generally your menu navigation links should be removed. So in your template, it would just have kind of the maybe your company logo, your actionable headline, and the content of your page and the form. So the reason why we sort of recommend that is so you're not distracting people from your landing page offer, because really at the end of the day, the goal is for them to fill out the form. But your navigation can always be restored on the thank you page, and we'll go into that in a bit more detail. In terms of your form and where that's positioned on the landing page, you can either keep the form kind of above the fold, or you can include an anchor link right at the top, depending on what kind of landing page template you're using. We'll run through a couple of landing page templates now. So this is kind of a standard landing page template. So these kind of highlight some of the best practices that we've just run through. So on this one, you can see that's highlighted, there's no navigation for that one. And the title is really clear and to the point. There's also a subheader just to give it a little bit more context and draw readers down to the main paragraph. You've got bullet points that are included. So you know, just a couple of really quick bullet points to kind of capture the attention of the person who's reading them, but also just if they're scanning through, they know immediately what they're going to learn. You can see a thumbnail used there as well, and the form only asks for the essential information. There's also this landing page example that HubSpot have rolled out in the last kind of year or so. It does include the best practices that we've been through already. I think I can open it now and just run through that with you. So you can see again, there's no navigation, but it allows for some more kind of interactive elements. So you can see there's a GIF there. Here, there's a CTA. If you click on that CTA, it will let you jump down to the form. So if someone is ready to download now, they can just click that CTA and hit the form straight away. But as you can see, you've got still the same elements. You've got the kind of introductory paragraphs. You've then got kind of your standard bullet points. And then you've also got kind of a sneak peek bit of functionality as well, which just means if you've got kind of slides or maybe a few pages of your ebook, you can display those just so it gives that kind of same tangible, this is what I'm going to take away from the piece of content once I download it. So in terms of what this looks like in HubSpot, the HubSpot tools are really great and make creating a landing page really, really intuitive. You can add your kind of content, include images and your landing page forms without using any code. You don't have to be a coder to use the HubSpot tools. The editor is very user-friendly. And once you're happy with your landing page, you can also review it on different devices. So if you wanted to kind of look at how it displayed on mobile, HubSpot will kind of give you the preview options to be able to do that. You can also optimize your landing page for search engines as well. On the left-hand side of the landing page editor, there's always an optimization bar giving you kind of some traffic light pointers of green of what's going really well with your landing page, and kind of amber on things that you might need to improve or consider just before you publish it. So in terms of the design of your landing page, you've got the HubSpot Design Manager, which kind of gives you the skeleton of your landing page, and it's really easy to use. All of the templates are kind of drag and drop templates. So if you wanted to add, say, an image to your landing page, it's just picking up an image module and just dragging it to where you'd like it on the page. You don't have to be a coder either to work the Design Manager. It's very easy to use, and it just means that if there's a quick change that you want to make, or just moving a couple of things around, then you can quickly make those changes and get back to optimizing the content on your landing page. Another thing to consider when creating your landing page is using smart content. You can use smart content to kind of tailor your landing page copy to a specific buyer persona, which is really useful when you're kind of trying to highlight the pain points in that introductory paragraph. By considering each persona individually, rather than kind of just trying to blanket cover the all of the personas within your copy, it just means that you're really optimizing the page and really trying to drive your personas towards that form and submitting it. So smart content will allow you also to kind of alter the display based on maybe the device that someone's viewing the landing page on. If someone's viewing the landing page on mobile, for example, they might benefit from kind of having less text on the page, so maybe a really short introductory paragraph and a few of the bullet points. So it's really to the point. They're not scrolling for ages just trying to get through all of the landing page copy. You can also create kind of smart modules dependent on maybe the country that someone is viewing the web page from, the referral site, if they've come from maybe another website that you're in partnership with, or maybe for a PPC campaign, you can sort of tailor your landing page to that as well. And you can also tailor your landing page to the life cycle stage that someone's at. And that's also really another really good way of using smart content. So if someone is a lead, you can keep things quite kind of top level. If someone is maybe at that kind of consideration stage level, where they're kind of evaluating their options, you can tailor your landing page copy towards that kind of evaluation consideration piece as well. And you can easily kind of make your content smart, and obviously again preview the page of someone viewing from mobile or from a specific country, so you can test out how that smart content works as well. So your landing page is obviously what people will see when they access it from kind of social media or a call to action on your website, but there are a lot of other elements that make your landing page up as well that also need to be built out in HubSpot before you can publish anything. So the first one, as we just mentioned, is a call to action on your website. So your call to action on your website is kind of it could be a banner CTA area, it could be, a sidebar CTA area, kind of creating an image-based CTA that's really eye-catching to whoever's kind of scrolling through your website. And that will take them to your main landing page, and then your main landing page will again have your form with the relevant fields that will kind of be useful to your marketing and your sales team. Then once they've submitted the form, that will take you to your thank you page, and that will need a call to action to download the PDF of, say, your ebook, for example, or a white paper. And once the form's been submitted as well, a follow-up email will kind of automatically be sent to your contacts, and that will have a call to action to the thank you page, and that directs your contacts to maybe other pieces of useful content that you've written. By directing people back to your thank you page, you've then got the navigation as well, so that people can then browse through your website. Perfect. So we're just going to go through and touch on some of these main elements for your landing page, just to give you an overview of some of the features and sort of how to build them in HubSpot as well. So your call to action. So for your landing page, as we discussed, you'll need 3 CTAs. So one that leads you to your PDF content file, one as well that takes you to your thank you page, and one kind of image-based CTA that you can use maybe in your blogs or sort of as a CTA area on your website. So as with building a landing page, happily you don't need any software or design experience to create CTAs. The CTA wizard is really simple to use again, and you can quickly create CTA buttons, image CTAs, or sort of text-based CTAs so that just appear as like hyperlinks within, say, your availability blog for the piece of content. And by creating kind of image-based CTAs within HubSpot as well, you also retain all of HubSpot's tracking functionality, also by having them sort of on your website. So moving on to forms. One of the things we really need to think about when using a form on a landing page is how long the form should be. So just assessing it with regards to the piece of content that you're promoting. So is the form kind of too long, too short, or is it just right? Thinking about how valuable your piece of content is. So whether, say, it's a white paper with a lot of statistics in and it's a lot of kind of your own research, you can obviously ask for a little bit more information there. However, if it's something that's quite kind of high level, maybe a short leaflet or an infographic, something like that, then maybe keeping your form as short and sweet as possible is so only asking for the essential information like first name, last name, email address is the kind of better way to go there. It's also worth thinking about where someone is in the buyer's journey as well. So if they're kind of at the awareness stage, maybe keeping the form short and sweet is the best position there. Middle of the funnel, if they filled out a form of your website previously, maybe consider using kind of progressive profiling to ask more qualifying questions that will really help your sales team by building up a picture of who that contact is. Or at the bottom of the funnel, you can also ask for kind of more detailed information to help qualify leads and just make it a little bit easier to close the sale as well. We have also, if you'd like to find out more about kind of using forms, we did a webinar on this about, I think, 6 weeks ago. So we have an on-demand version on the website as well if you'd like to explore forms in a bit more detail. Using the form builder in HubSpot, again, everything's got really good drag and drop functionality. So you can see you've got frequently used fields on the left that you can just drag over to your form on the right. It's really easy as well just to make your form fields required and optional too. So that's just a simple checkbox. So that's yeah, really quick to do. You can also add custom fields as well to your form. So maybe just asking a question that's specific to your lead qualification process. That could be, you know, something like, what's your job role? Just to identify the buyer persona that your lead would fall into. One thing that we would kind of caveat here is just that we'd recommend avoid using free text fields because it makes it quite difficult to segment data, particularly if you're wanting to kind of use that data for email sends, for example. So we'd recommend using maybe drop-down fields or radio select fields instead. Perfect. Sorry, I just realised I missed a slide there. Another thing you can do as well is make your fields dependent. So if someone gives a particular answer, you can serve them another question just to find out a little bit more. So just honing things a bit more as well. So yeah, it's just very useful. So moving on to thank you pages, HubSpot will give you 2 options in terms of creating a thank you message. So one thing you can do is create a thank you page, or you can create kind of a thank you inline message. We would always recommend, although it's tempting to look at your thank you page as an afterthought, we'd recommend not doing that. Your thank you pages are kind of the better option here, really, because it gives you so many more opportunities to serve other content to your lead. So once they've submitted the form, you can restore the navigation. You can obviously serve them the piece of content immediately rather than waiting for them to fill out the form. Waiting for them to send in the email. And it gives you the opportunity as well to kind of connect with people on social media too, by having kind of social sharing buttons. So it's a better way of keeping your contacts engaged rather than having a thank you, you'll receive an email message just after they've submitted the form. So the thank you page is the perfect place, obviously, to reinstate how valuable your offer was. It gives, obviously, as we've covered, instant access to the content. You can promote your additional relevant offers, and you can also promote maybe some relevant or recent blog material too. The structure will differ slightly to a landing page. As we discussed, we'll always return the navigation on a thank you page. We will then sort of deliver the promised content offer and then kind of set expectations as well. If someone's maybe signing up to a webinar and, just giving them a heads up, like we'll send you a couple of reminder emails in the next few weeks, is kind of just setting that expectation that you'll be in contact, just reminding them the webinar will still happen and how to access that webinar too. You can provide any additional directions. So, for example, for an event, you can say, we'll be in touch with an agenda in the next few weeks. And it also gives you the opportunity, you can add additional modules here. So you've got the recent blog post module, as you can see at the bottom of that image. It will help kind of move your leads further into the buyer's journey as they're exploring more of your content. And you can also include social options there. So you can see there's kind of those connect with us buttons, just to kind of increase following on social media as well and providing social proof. So moving on to follow-up emails. Your follow-up email will be sent to kind of your lead immediately after they downloaded the piece of content. So it delivers the content or maybe like a confirmation of something that they've signed up to. And they're really useful because it might be that a lead refers back to an email at a later date, which is always easier than trying to access kind of that landing page or thank you page directly again. Or if they want to kind of maybe forward and share that email to the rest of their team, they can do as well. But follow-up emails, they aren't just a content delivery mechanism. You can optimize them in a similar way to your thank you pages, really. You can promote additional content offers or encourage people to sign up to your blog. You can add further personalization. So you can say, hi, Violetta, thanks for downloading. Here's your ebook. And you can also use kind of company name in that way as well. And then you can also, it's a really good way as well of checking that someone's email address is valid. So you can check the deliverability rate of your follow-up email to make sure that they're all being delivered. And if not, it's highly likely that maybe the email address was added incorrectly. Another thing as well that's really good to review once you've got your landing pages up and live and you're promoting them on social media is to have a look at the analytics in HubSpot as well. So HubSpot has sort of an analytics dashboard that will it will list all of the landing pages under the Manage tab, but under the Analyze tab, which is the one you can see here, it will show you kind of all of the submissions to date, and it will show you which landing pages are performing particularly well in terms of the conversion rate, the number of views, and also the total number of submissions you've had as well. It just allows you to analyze which pieces of content are performing the best and maybe which need a little bit more attention and just further optimization to make sure that they're structured correctly. Maybe it's worth just reviewing the copy in a bit more detail. So that introductory paragraph, are you really hitting the pain point there? Maybe that could be tailored to a particular buyer persona, as we've discussed just now. So in terms of looking at your results and your conversion rate, what kind of conversion rates should you be looking for? Well, what we'd recommend sort of looking at is maybe for your ebooks and white papers, just looking for hitting kind of the 20 to 30% mark. We'd say that's pretty good. If you can get anything over 30%, that's really, really great. Your case studies are slightly different. If that's something that you're wishing to kind of promote, it's something that we've worked with a lot of clients on, kind of providing case studies to find out a little bit more about what they've done for a particular client. It's kind of really good kind of middle of the funnel content, but we generally find that case studies have kind of a lower conversion rate just because they are that more kind of consideration style piece. And very often we tend to use them in kind of nurture pieces as well. So they can be promoted on the resources page, but generally people are sort of looking for kind of a solution to their problems, so the ebooks and white papers are generally more attractive. So in terms of putting everything together, I was just going to run through kind of the landing page structure in HubSpot and just kind of putting it all together. So what that means is basically just making sure that you've got all of the elements connected in the right way to your landing page to get it functioning properly. So I'm just going to go to, here's one I created earlier. This landing page is for one of our topic cluster ebooks. So as you can see, this is the editor. Everything's really easy to edit. So if you just click in here, you can edit the text. We've also included an ebook thumbnail, and we've also included a few bullet points here as well, and then a call to action at the end to point people towards the form. You've also got your form here, and to add that to your landing page, if I just come out of this, there we are. So you've got your module list here, which basically outlines all of the different pieces that make up your landing page. Your form is here, and this is where you can add a lot of the different components that we've discussed today that make up your landing page. So you can add a form title to say kind of download your ebook today. You've got the opportunity to add your form here. So this can just be selected from the listing here. If you want to double check it, you just hit edit, it will take you straight to that form. And you can look at maybe making some changes to the form, maybe clicking and dragging your last name up here. And then if you come out of that and go back to the form, there we are. You can also, so this is where HubSpot also gives you the opportunity to redirect to another page, which is your thank you page, or display an inline thank you message. So here we've got the redirection to another page, because that gives us the opportunity to use our thank you page that we've created. And you've got the thank you page to the topic clusters ebook here as well. So that can just simply be selected from a listing. You just need to make sure that your thank you page is published so that it will show up in this listing. And you can test the URL for that as well, just to make sure that everything is there. So for your thank you page, what we've got here is, obviously delivering that piece of content. So it's personalized to me. Hi, Emma. Thanks for your interest in our ebook. You can then download the ebook there. And then obviously, if there are any problems with the download, we sort of put in our email address just so people can get in touch. And then we've also kind of added another way of people to get in contact with us. So maybe someone might want to book a free 15-minute consultation with our team, or sometimes we can we'll sort of serve them another related ebook that's really sort of interesting and helps them find out a little bit more, pushing them a little bit further down the funnel. Here you also have the opportunity to add form submission notifications. So once someone's submitted your form, who in your business would need to know about that? So you can select adding the email addresses here. You can just add an email address there, for example. And depending on kind of the stage that someone is, the stage that your landing page is aimed at. So whether it's kind of that kind of top of the funnel level, middle of the funnel level, or bottom of the funnel level will depend on who you want to be notified. So for example, if someone fills out, say, a demo form on your demo landing page, maybe having a member of your sales team added to that to just make sure that they're aware, because obviously that's someone just putting their hand up and saying, yeah, I do want to actually speak to someone. Whereas, if someone is filling out maybe an ebook landing page, having your marketing team on those form submission notifications is also really useful. You also have your post-submit actions here as well. So you can add someone to a workflow if you want them to be kind of nurtured a little bit more as a result of filling out the landing page form. And then you also have the opportunity to send a follow-up email. So from here, we can select an email. I think I made one earlier. There we are. And then if you go into edit, you can just double check the settings for your email. Sorry, it's taking its time to load. There we go, it's getting there. There we are, perfect. So it'll show it to you in the editor. As you can see, it's really easy to add any other pieces of content to this email, such as kind of social sharing buttons, the CTA button, or an image. And then your follow-up email, you can see you've then got a CTA to your thank you page. And then this click here as well also takes you to your thank you page. And then what we've also included in the follow-up email is just, if someone's interested in finding out more, then just pointing them towards our other ebooks that is also related. And then there's a CTA button at the bottom that just takes people to that as well. So it's just making that email simple and clear, and also kind of just adding a couple of different content opportunities as well there to take people back to your website. If your landing page is a webinar landing page, if you've got the GoToWebinar integration as well, you'll have a field here too, which just allows you to select the webinar to make sure everything is aligned to the right campaign. So that's everything there. You've then got your settings here, so just making sure that everything's optimized. Your keyword for your landing page, you just need to make sure is in the page title, the URL, obviously the copy of your landing page, and in the meta description too. And then in terms of just double checking the optimization, if you go to the optimize bar here, you've then got attaching content to a topic. So you've got your core topic that you can create in the content strategy tool, and that's generally kind of your pillar page topic. And then, so for example, if I was just to put this on maybe HubSpot setup, you can select it as a supporting page and then attaching it to the topic from there. And then that just means that the page is kind of related to that pillar page topic, and you've then got those kind of interlinking functionality as well. So in terms of previewing as well, here you've got the device type, so you can always preview how your landing page will look on mobile, on tablet, and then on desktop as well. You can also, if you've got some personalization in your landing page, then you can choose to preview that landing page as a specific contact as well. And then you've also got the opportunity to, if you want to share the preview with the rest of your team, just so you can get a couple of other people testing it, then you can share a preview link as well. So the rest of your team can access the page live without necessarily having to log into HubSpot. Perfect. I think that was everything on the demo. In terms of where you start, we've got kind of a quick run through of the different types of things that you'll need to create. So it can be very, because there's a lot of different HubSpot elements that need to be created. This is kind of what we've found as a team is like the best method to create everything without having lots and lots of HubSpot windows open. So creating your content thumbnail, then uploading your PDF into HubSpot, creating your call to action to the PDF from there, then creating your form, thank you page, and then your landing page, creating your call to action to the thank you page, then your follow-up email, just finishing off that landing page, so just making sure you've attached that follow-up email, and then creating your, so once your landing page is live, creating that call to action that sits on your website or maybe on your blog to, so creating that kind of visibility across your website that takes people to that landing page. And then you have all the elements for the perfect lead conversion process.
Perfect. So Emma will run through some key takeaways in a second and best practices. So in the meantime, if you have any questions, please let us know in the questions box. So yeah, would you like to run through that?
Yeah, no problem. So in terms of landing page best practices, just to cover what we've discussed today, just really thinking about kind of the structure of your landing page copy. Is it clear? Is it kind of actionable, your headline? And does your first paragraph really hit the pain point of your persona? It's also worth kind of considering the value of your asset, as that will kind of dictate how long your form really should be. It's a kind of key kind of trade-off really when trying to look at maybe the conversion rate of a landing page, just looking at that form and just seeing, you know, is it too long for that piece of content, or could we be asking more here? Also, it's worth just thinking about how you can drive people back to your content after they've converted on your landing page. Just making sure that you know, you're providing other pieces of content for people to kind of download, or just accessing your website again and just having a look through maybe your products and services as well as other resources. And then again, just a final one, it's always important to review every aspect of your landing page. So you're making sure your form's set up correctly, that the CTAs on your thank you page are taking you to the PDF, and the CTAs on your follow-up email are taking you to the thank you page. It's one of those things just really important to get testing and make sure that that everything is working correctly before you publish it, but also start promoting it on social media and on your website, because obviously it's got a lot of elements and you want to make sure that you're getting the best conversion rate possible.
Great. Okay, let's perhaps start with the questions.
Okay. No problem.
Yeah. So how, if using a landing page, how do I add smart content to the landing page?
Yes.
Yeah,
of course. That's a really good point. So if we go back to this example landing page we had here, you can see that the module for your kind of main copy on your landing page has a little icon here, and that allows you to make the content smart. So if you click here, it will bring up a different kind of wizard, basically. And you can show different content based on country, device type, referral source, preferred language. Maybe if you want to create a contact list of specific contacts that you want to see a slightly different version of the landing page, you can do that too. And then you can also create a contact based on the create smart content based on the life cycle stage. So if we do device type as an example, we can look at maybe tablet. And if we hit create, so here on the left hand side within your modules section again, you've then got the opportunity to kind of have your default setting, which is then desktop, and then your tablet rule. So we click into the tablet rule, it will show you the, right click on, it will show you the module as the default, but then you can kind of tailor it a little bit more as well. So if someone's viewing it on a tablet, you might want to maybe cut down some of the content here. Maybe we could just change that slightly, and then there we go, just highlight that slightly as well. You go to the module list, there we go. So you've then got, so once you've saved that, your smart rules will then, so that used to be white, it will then go red just to denote that there's a smart rule there. You can then click through to your tablet, and then when you preview it, you can preview as a tablet, and then it will show you that kind of shortened copy as well, and then the fact that we kind of got rid of a couple of bullet points there as well. So yeah, that's how you create smart content.
Great. Yeah. I think it's a good time to mention that actually our previous webinar was specifically on smart content, so smart CTAs in particular. So if you want to know more about that, you can definitely check it out. Another one would be how can I use the landing page analytics dashboard to analyze?
No worries. So, yeah, no worries. So if we go to landing pages here, you've then got your Analyze tab, which is where you can see all of the submissions. So you can see basically the number of views. It's generally organised by the number of submissions, and then you can see the conversion rate of the pages here as well. Another great way, if you're using this for reporting as well, as we often do, you can also export all of your content as well. So it will give you all of the kind of landing page names, the number of views, submissions, and then your conversion rate, but also whether anything is kind of published or in draft at the moment too. So yeah, in terms of kind of creating any charts or graphs, exporting that data is also really useful. You can also set the date range as well. So if you want to look at maybe how well everything's been doing over the quarter or across some rolling dates, you can set those as well. So you can see you've got this quarter, last quarter, rolling date range, or even a custom time period as well. You can also see the number of new contacts that have been created via your landing pages, which is also really useful, particularly if you're reporting back to another team on that. And you can also see, and this is a really nice one, the number of customers. So what that means is the number of people who saw a particular landing page as their first landing page. That's what they first converted on. Further down the line, it's just a really nice way of showing the full efficacy of your landing page as well. So yeah, that's just a quick tour of the landing page dashboard.
Great.